Till February 28th, the world had lost almost 7 million people to COVID-19 infection, and there were 69,886 active cases. India, on the other hand, had 169 active cases, according to WHO data. And the last time that we saw the cases rising was in June last year. So can we say with certainty that pandemic is behind us and it will not strike again? No one knows for sure. But with hard lessons learned, we can be better prepared for another wave if it strikes. During his recent visit to India, Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates said that the world needs to build more tools and global institutions to tackle any future pandemic. Just a few days before, he had told CNBC that the risks of severe disease from COVID-19 have dramatically reduced, but another pandemic is all but certain. Gates said that the world today is far more prepared to deal with the pandemic, but it is still far away from the required infrastructure and programs. A major flaw that Gates highlighted was the absence of a surveillance system that could not only detect a deadly outbreak, but also prevent it from spreading. But pandemics such as the COVID-19 happen rarely. Then, why is Bill Gates worried about a new virus?
I think one of the things that we need to be aware of is that with climate change, there is a lot more interaction between humans and animals, and particularly wildlife. Now, wildlife and animals, including livestock, contain a number of different kinds of viruses that have the capacity to infect humans. There are at least 25 families of viruses that can potentially cross the species barrier and cause infections in humans. This happens on a regular basis. Every year, there are at least about 5 events where animal viruses cross into humans. But sometimes they cross over and then they begin to spread in the human population. And that's really what he's warning against. The fact that as we increase human-animal contact, the chances of the crossover, the chances of human-to-human transmission will increase.
Gates highlighted that the first 25 weeks of the pandemic destroyed 25 years' worth of progress. The pandemic also wreaked havoc on health programs for various different diseases. He said that health systems of many countries are still not back on track. Gates, also the co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, appreciated how different people came together to build support infrastructure to deal with the pandemic in India. So, is India prepared to deal with another pandemic? If not, what should we do about it?
We must pay attention in India because now India is the most populous country in the world. But having said that, a disease could emerge anywhere and travel around the world in record time. The world is very interconnected, and the world has to be prepared. India has to be prepared. And if you look at it at this point, I don't think India is prepared. I don't think the world is prepared. The first policy that needs to be in place everywhere is improvement of health systems. And health systems includes the ability to detect the rise in infections. Health system includes ability to treat infections, hospital systems, hospital capacity, availability of doctors, nurses, and other technology that goes along with it. All that is needed. And remember, you don't prepare for a war when the war is actually being fought. You prepare for it in peacetime. So whatever time you get now, we must prepare our systems when the next one emerges.
The COVID-19 pandemic vividly highlighted the gaps in the Indian healthcare system. While India was able to manage the worst impact of the pandemic, the focus appears to be drifting. In the latest union budget, the share of healthcare increased by a meager 2.71%. Even worse, the government in India, including both center and states, spends a mere 1.1% of GDP on healthcare. Countries like China, Vietnam, and Sri Lanka spend a much higher share.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.